Anyone care to share?
I'm from Buffalo, New York.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm from New Jersey.
Okay.
I'm from Westchester, New York.
Cool.
South Dakota.
South Dakota? Okay.
I'm from Lake George.
Okay. Great. Well, I just, that just gives me a little bit of a sense of, where people are at, and if I should speak more to like the region or just more generalized. But so my whole presentation, and it's funny. So when I submitted my proposal, must have been over a year ago. I imagined this being in person, and I really wanted to do different activities and more like hands-on experiential stuff. And I've got two quick things planned that we'll do, but I really, after having transformed this to a virtual presentation and obviously everything that's going on, my goal is to really provide everyone with resources. And so so my presentation here is really just a PDF. And throughout the PDF, I've got lots of links. I actually created a Google Drive folder and put a bunch of files in there. So at the end of this, if you get nothing else, hopefully you'll get some resources and some actual things that you can utilize in your own programs. Did everyone mind muting? Thank you. I'm getting some feedback there. So
how's it going? No, never mind. The session's fine. See everybody later.
see ya. Thank you. All right. So let me see here. So actually, I'm just gonna hold on, I'm trying to get my screens situated here. Now every time I lead a program, let me back up for a second. I'm sorry. So things that I'm gonna kind of talk about today is a general overview of what an adventure program can look like on your campus. At Keuka, we're a relatively small campus. We've got about 1,100 students. And so I'm kind of the do-it-all recreation guy at this point, at least. When I started, I was hired as the adventure sports coach, and over the past couple of years have taken on more responsibilities, and ultimately now I oversee all of the recreation. And previously I had a couple other folks who would help with recreation things. I still have one. She's on maternity leave until the end of November. But so, really, we do a lot with limited resources. And so a lot of this is probably going to be geared towards the smaller schools. But definitely, like I said, there's resources and there's a lot of information that, regardless of the size school you are, that I think will be beneficial. So our rec program, we try and be all inclusive and offer something for everyone. But I think the unique thing about the adventure or the outdoor adventure aspect is that it really touches all segments of the campus community, from recreation, leisure time, academics, student development, athletics. Really, I think like our work is very unique, not just in higher ed or recreation in general, but we have the opportunity to really reach out to so many groups. And so one of the things, or I'm going to kind of break down and illustrate how adventure, outdoor education, outdoor rec can all be integrated into more areas of the campus rather than just general recreation and programming. Now that's a huge component of it. We have a lot of fun. We take trips, do stuff outdoors, but really at the heart of adventure, whether it's adventure education, outdoor education, is experiential learning and then student development. So, all right, let me click. So I like to, every program I lead, whether it's an off-campus hiking trip, an on-campus ropes course trip, or event, bonfire, I always like to do check-ins just to kind of get a sense of how the group's feeling. Over my years of facilitating programs. I've been able to, read a group and then make adjustments, or generally have a plan, but maybe throw in different things here and there. So I'd like to start us off with two quick activities. And the one I do, whether it's in person or virtual or whatever, and the other one is kind of a virtual activity. So maybe give everyone something for their virtual programming arsenal. But the first one, it's called the weather forecast. And so basically all it is a check-in, and everyone will have an opportunity to just go around quickly, or we'll pick a few to let us know how you're feeling in the form of a weather forecast. So it may be, and this is an opportunity for students, adults, if you do these programs with, if you have people from off campus, younger groups, it's an opportunity to be creative and at the same time, express how you're feeling. So my weather forecast is typically very, very much the same. I'm usually a positive, upbeat kind of guy, and got a lot of energy. And so I often will say that my forecast is 75 sunny, clear blue sky, few clouds floating by, and birds chirping in the air. That's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling really good. The weather's been great. I am an avid mountain biker, and so I'm just like, I got out yesterday. I've been dying to get out the rest of the few days, and so the weekend's on its way. So I'm feeling pretty good. So I'd love to take some volunteers if anyone would like to share their weather forecast. Feel free to turn your videos on, unmute yourself, and we can go around and share a few if folks are interested.
I can go. I would say I am 65 degrees, sunny, but very windy, I guess.
Very windy. Okay.
Just because
All right.
a little rocky, I don't know.
Sure. Other folks interested? All right. Well, that's fine. So, all right. Well, generally,
Say in the chat, too.
what's that? Yeah, you go
You
ahead.
could say in the chat.
Oh, bright moon. Cool. All right. I like to tell groups, be as creative as you can, and it's kind of fun. So, well, I'll try the next activity. If folks are not interested, then that's okay too. But a lot of the work I'll preface it with, a lot of the work we do in venture or outdoor adventure, I mentioned, is group development, getting people to sort of stretch themselves and try new things, whether it's going on a hike, going whitewater rafting, or it's a team building kind of activity. So feel free to get out of your comfort zone with some of this. I like to see video screens too. I teach 2 classes, and at Keuka we had 6 successful weeks on campus, and then we had a COVID outbreak, and now we're back to virtual. And so my classes are often virtual, and I stare a lot at just square blocks with names in them. So feel free to turn your videos on, because I will scroll through the video feed. But the next activity it's just a number activity, and it's really a quick get to know you. And like I said, this is a specific virtual activity. But if everyone has a sheet of paper and a pen nearby, write your name and then write 5 numbers that represent you. So it might look like this, or I actually have it in slide. Oh shoot, how do I? Okay, there it goes. So kind of like that. So take 60 seconds, take a minute to do that. Shouldn't take too long. And then when you're done, go ahead and hold them up so that we can all see.
How many numbers was it? Was it 6 or 5?
5, yeah,
Oh,
4 or 5. And I might have goofed in not giving you the full instructions. Write 5 numbers that represent you. Sorry about that. Lost my thought here. So these 5 numbers should represent you in some way. And again, you can get creative with them. But this is going to be, oh, perfect. Amelia, 6, 14, 10, 7, 17. I wonder, has anyone done this activity before? Cool. So the way to work, yeah, go ahead and you can keep holding them up. I'll use mine for an example and then we'll go around. But again, I'm Dan. So I've got these 5 numbers here, and the name of the game here is try and guess what my numbers might represent to me. So and I'll go through. I'll do my first 2 as an example, and then we can take some guesses. And yeah, feel free to use the chat too. I'll keep my eye over here. My first number is 3. 3 for me represents I own 3 bikes. So 3 different mountain bikes. For me, the next number, 90. 90 represents the year I was born. I was born in 1990. So everyone, makes sense? Pretty easy. Anyone have any guesses on what number 1 might mean to me?
You have 1 kid.
No, but along the same lines, or a good thought.
one dog
1 pet.
or 1 pet.
I do have 1 pet. I've got a cat who is actually bugging me. He's got a broken leg. He's a wild child, and he has a small fraction of leg, so he's been bugging me. He's over here laying. But actually, I have 1 sibling is what I was going for. How about 4? Yeah, I know, poor Katie. Yeah, he's all right. He's doing pretty good. Any guesses for 4?
The number of how many family members, immediate family members you have? The mom and dad and the sibling.
Well, that's not what I was going for, but that's correct too. So 4, I have owned 4 cars in my life. And then my final number is 35, and to me this is like my most fun number. Any thoughts there?
Your favorite year of life.
No, nope, not quite.
You've hiked 35 mountains?
I haven't counted up how many mountains I've hiked. It's sort of along those lines. Not quite though.
Does that have to do with the Catskills?
Oh wait, say that again. I'm sorry, I heard something about the Catskills.
That's exactly it. 35 peaks above 35.
Oh, nope. Good thought though.
Trips?
Trips, sort of. I've been to 35 states.
Oh.
So 35 different states. So, all right. So those are my numbers. Oh, Stacy visited. Cameron, yeah, you guessed it. Nice. Sorry, I just saw it there in the chat. Now, anyone want to share their numbers, and we can do a couple people and learn a little bit more about some of you. Anyone interested?
I know they have some numbers in the chat that they
Yeah, let's see.
typed in as well, but I have mine too.
All right, Nick, how about Nicholas? Is it okay if we use yours? Nick?
Yeah, you good.
Cool. All right, so Nick's numbers are 1, 2, 3, 18, and 5. All right, number 1 for Nicholas. 1 house.
No.
No.
Is it a sibling?
Yep. Yeah.
1 sibling?
Brother.
A brother, older or younger?
Older. It's
Older,
like
cool.
years older. Yep.
Okay. All right, how about 2 for Nick? You own 2 bikes. No. Say it again.
2 cars, I was guessing.
2 cars?
No.
No.
Is it like tattoos? 2 tattoos? Um,
It was something that was previously said in the first one. For one.
Two high peak shoe fights?
No.
No.
Two states lived in.
Yeah, well, yeah, that kind of falls under it. It was 2 houses. I have one house in Staten Island and one currently where I am in Pennsylvania. So,
Oh, cool.
yeah.
Okay. So Nick's next number is 3. 3 children? No. 3.
3 pets? I don't know if we said that a million times.
Give us.
It's not like a actual like physical thing. It's more just like the meaning on it, maybe.
Favorite number.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Favorite number. Yeah.
All right. 18. You're 18.
Favorite age?
Favorite age?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then 5.
How many people are in your family?
5. Tears in the room you're in.
No.
Trips you've taken?
What was that?
Trips?
No.
All right, give us a hint.
Working.
5 years working? Or 5 years in your career?
No.
No.
5 weeks left for your internship.
How we going? Close. It has something to do with. All right, can I give it to you?
Yeah.
It's the time I woke up this morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Really?
5 a.m. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired right now.
I bet. Yeah. All right. Cool. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, no problem.
Maybe we'll do one more. Victoria, want to use yours? I see yours down there in the chat. See there? Oh yeah. Trying to get video. Okay. Give her a second. Well, we could probably get started guessing. Victoria, 17 is her first number.
Her lucky number?
Lucky number?
No?
Birth date?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Of what month?
Last month actually.
The last month, as
October.
in December or
Like October.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you.
So 5 siblings.
Yeah. It's like you've played this game before.
Yeah. So 17, 5, 1 for Victoria, number 1.
1 pet.
No.
This one might be a little harder actually.
1. One time you've been skiing. No. All right, give us a hint then.
A hint?
Yeah.
Something with the military.
Oh, 1 year left of service?
No.
No. 1 year in the service?
Mm-mm.
No.
1 year until?
No.
1 year deployed.
No. I've been there, done that.
All right, let us know then.
That's our first duty station.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Good. All right,
How
number
we're all
4.
from San Diego.
Oh, wait, say that again?
That's why we're out in San Diego.
Gotcha. Nice. San Diego's amazing.
Yes, it is.
I'm jealous. All right, number 4. Any guesses on that?
States you've been to?
Close.
Countries.
Close.
Hmm.
Still more of the first one.
Continents?
I'm sorry?
Continents? You've been
Yeah.
to 4 different continents? No, okay.
That'd be cool though.
All right, why don't you just tell us?
So that's 4 states I've lived in.
4. Oh, okay. Kristen just guessed that, literally. Good guess, Kristen.
Oh, I thought she guessed how many. Oh no, maybe
Oh, she
did?
just typed it in the chat now.
Oh, perfect. Nice job.
All right, and then your last number, I think, was 12, correct? Uh-oh.
Yeah.
All right, any final guesses for 12?
Favorite number? Lucky number?
Mm-mm.
Why don't you just tell us?
I'll be honest. I was trying to get on the video and I completely forgot.
Oh, you don't remember what? Okay. All right, well, that's fine. No worries.
I think about it.
All right, well, when you think about it, drop it in the chat.
Okay.
Cool. So, that's just it's a good, quick, relatively quick get to know you virtual activity. Depending on group size, you could run through it with everyone, have everyone share, or, just have a few and then kind of move on. As you can see, at some point, you just kind of like, all right, just tell us, just because, you'd be sitting here forever waiting for people to guess sometimes. But I generally like to start off with, whether it's virtual or an in-person, some kind of check-in, just things to get people's mind going, and different programs would do different things. So I'm gonna jump on to the next slide. So kind of program overview here, really of things that I want to touch on-campus activities, off-campus activities, things that your outdoor adventure programs could run, student development, how we play into that, how we play into academics, how outdoor education and adventure can play into athletics. And then I've got tons of resources and sample like program outlines and hopefully different things that you can use moving forward. And then I've got lots of stuff too. So at the end, if there's you'll see some of the resources I'm going to share. But if anyone's interested in more, I've got lots more that I can share. And so for folks who might not have, I do have, and I will share. I actually maybe I'll ask Hannah if this PDF at the end can be shared with folks, because that way you can click the links. And I created a Google Drive folder with things, and so folks, if you're interested in utilizing that, I'll just continually put stuff in it, or like I said, you can reach out to me. But so on-campus activities can range, and it's crazy because you don't really need to have lots of gear offered for students. Or we're fortunate at Keuka, we're right on one of the Finger Lakes. We have a waterfront and a boathouse, and we have an on-campus ropes course. And, both of those excuse me, things together really lend themselves to an outdoor adventure program for on-campus activities. And I understand every school isn't going to have that. It's definitely a perk of working at Keuka and then also being a student there. But there's lots more that you can do. And I've utilized a lot of pictures in this presentation, but then I also have lists and things like that, so you can take screenshots or write different things down. But on-campus activities can range from kayaking trips, hikes around campus, snowshoeing around campus, clinics, especially now being virtual. One of the things that I'm trying to do is offer what I'm calling outdoor tech clinics. And I take different topics, backpacking, camping, rock climbing, and kind of break down some of the technical aspects to it. So for backpacking, there's a lot that goes into that. Actually, let me just pause there for a sec, and just a little bit of my background, which I didn't give you. So I have, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and I grew up, I've got a degree in sports management and then a master's degree in outdoor rec. And after, when I was in school, after grad school, I worked as a professional outdoor outfitter. So, outfitting people for their excursions, did a lot of Boy Scout trips, a lot of El Camino trips in Spain. So outfitted for kayaking trips, rock climbing a lot. So I've got a good understanding of the technical aspect for a lot of sports and gear needed. So I realize not everyone's going to have the same background and maybe not be able to provide some tech clinics, but those are things that you can pick up along the way or certainly take classes on. And then if you're running your outdoor rec program or you're a student employee for that, those are things you'll probably learn through working there. So I think providing these like virtual experiences can be beneficial, but you got to have some knowledge base before you get into teaching some of that, because there's a lot of technical gear or technical stuff when it comes to outdoor activities. But so some other on campus, we've got disc golf, and for those of you who know what disc golf is or frisbee golf, this picture here, we actually have the baskets and we've got a 9-hole course on campus. This isn't something we've always had. Sometimes, you don't always have the resources to buy things like that. And so creating an object course, you can do that too. There's an app called UDisc, and basically it shows you where all the different disc golf courses are around you, brings up a map, and there's other things. You can use it as a scorecard. But you can create like your own object course through that app, and folks can follow it and then still play disc golf, just doesn't have the baskets. So sometimes you get creative with some of the activities. Adventure runs, again, we've got an on-campus high and low ropes course, so some of that makes things a little bit easier, but doing runs around campus or through the woods, you can create obstacles. That's something we've done, and we kind of focus on and this bleeds into just general rec too, not necessarily adventure, but the make your own kind of program. So really putting in the work to create an idea, create the piece parts and have student employees help run it rather than outsourcing it to a company. Hey, come in. Oh, the lights are not. Is anyone else having? Hold on. Are any of the slides changing?
I'm still on the first slide as well.
Yeah, same.
All right. Let me.
Sometimes if you stop sharing and then try to reshare again, like WebEx is just unpredictable. It works sometimes and then other times not.
Man, I have so many issues with these virtual meetings. I'm just at my wit's end.
Yeah.
How about now?
It's still the first slide.
All right, let me try. Oh, do I want to leave? Man, I thought I'd been going through all these slides.
I also have that, and then on my left side though, I have like a little arrow that I can hit down, and it just brings me to the next screen, so I can just follow along as you're talking. I don't know if it's the same.
So everyone has to change on their own screen? Because that's what I was doing too. I was clicking the arrow. That's kind of lousy.
Okay, yeah, I think we individually have to click to the left. If you see there's like a little toolbar, does everybody see that? Hopefully. Yeah, okay. And you just click down. I just realized.
So anyways, I was on slides 4 and 5. So I'll guess I'll let you know when I'm changing slides. Sorry about that. Cool. So some other, easy on-campus activities, bonfires. Probably everyone will host those, but a bonfire can lend itself to general campus. Hey, come out to our bonfire and s'mores, or to small group kind of things. Work study staff or an RA staff or other. You can solicit other groups and host those for them too. Campouts, you can do on-campus campouts. That's always kind of a fun event. Generally, we don't have any like campsites on campus where students can check out, although that is something I'm interested in offering students, conversations with campus safety and things like that. But, if you host a group camp out, that can eliminate some of the fears of things that might happen while, camping out at night on campus and parties and things like that. A lot of this too, you have to take in right now, and it's going to be kind of hard to execute on some things just because of COVID. But I think some things can still happen. Bike rentals, bike checkouts. That's an easy thing relatively easy. You got to purchase bikes and have people to maintain them. There's a lot that goes into bike mechanics, but one idea there, and it's worked on our campus, is opening or starting a bike club and having folks who are interested in bikes to kind of help manage those and do the maintenance on them and things like that. Archery tag and so I've got a picture of it later in the presentation, but basically what that is, if you think of dodgeball, think of it in the form of archery. They're like, the arrows they're not sharp or anything. They've got large foam knobs on the end, and it comes with bunkers and things like that. It's pretty cool, but it is like bow and arrow, and we've used it as an intramural league before. We've used it for our freshman welcome event. We've had just like pop-up events, and then we've also used it for like target shooting. One thing I've been working on is starting an archery team here on campus, and it hasn't a skeet shooting and archery team to fold into our adventure program. And I was working a lot on it last year, and we had a proposal and was starting to get some traction, and then COVID happened, and so. But before all that, we got the archery tag stuff as in the meantime, this is still kind of a cool archery thing. And even like do a quick Google search of archery tag. I'm sorry, I don't have a link for them in here, but you'll see. How did I educate myself on these activities? So yeah, thanks, Scott. Perfect. So on like something like archery tag, Victoria asked, how did I educate? I'm wondering, you mean just like outdoor activity in general, or can you maybe talk more on that, what you're asking?
Yes. Yes. So I'm actually looking into getting my master's. Sorry for the echo. Interested in getting my master's in recreation. And since my undergrad is not in recreation, I'm just wondering how someone could educate themselves a little more on these specific activities if that's not something that's going to be covered in our master's program, like if it's a management type of degree.
Sure. So there are. I don't have anything pulled up. I mean, you mean like backpacking or like whitewater rafting, those kinds of activities?
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, there's lots of certification classes that you can take, especially for rock climbing and whitewater rafting, to be guides. There's other schools out there. So yeah, in my master's, I went to IU, Indiana University, and I did have outdoor recreation was my degree. While much of the program wasn't about specific activities in general, a lot that I learned was from experience, just engaging in activities, learning from other people that I was with. And then my job as the outfitter, it was pretty cool. So I worked for just a local grassroots outfitter. It's called Appalachian Outfitters, but REI, LL Bean, kind of along the same lines. What was really cool about that is companies, tech reps would come in and they do trainings on products. And so I got trained on the different types of backpacking camp stoves and actual packs and the different types of kayaks and things like that. So, really through that work experience, I learned a lot. And again, just from other people there. So if you can, like, get a job at REI or a local, outfitter, because you'll learn a ton.
Okay. They actually have one of those out here, like just down the road. So
Yeah, check in. And the thing is that REI, LL Bean, Land's End, even they do classes too. So if you look up on REI's website, and I'm not sure what they're doing now with COVID protocols and all that, but they offer pretty extensive classes on all the way from like kayaking basics to whitewater kayaking, backpacking 101, camping 101. That they do that, and a lot of like we did that too at the shop I worked at. So there are.
I appreciate that. It's just, like it's a little intimidating not having my undergrad in it and wanting to like go further with it because I'm like, well, especially with everything being online now, it's like how
Yeah.
can you get that hands-on experience and like actually be able to do the job well, not just like in the mental aspect, but also the physical. So thank you.
Sure, yeah. So Haley also offered, you can look into internships or programs that have those activities, that have volunteer roles and experience. So yeah, I mean, that's a great response there, Haley. Also, coolworks.com, I think it's coolworks, I think it's .com, is an all outdoor recreation employment website, and they've got internships, part-time jobs. Take a look there. There's tons of stuff all over the country. And then outdoorindustryjobs.com would be another one. But Coolworks, I would definitely check out Coolworks. There's a lot in there, and like Haley said, you can get international experience and then definitely get some internships, GA positions. Yep, Bluefish jobs. There's tons of GA jobs now. Do you already know where you're going to grad school?
Probably online, but
Okay.
I'm torn between Cortland and one other school, actually.
Yeah, well, Cortland's got a great outdoor program, so
I know.
you can. I bet you could learn a lot from them. And they actually, I've dinked around on their website, and they've got some good like video tutorials on gear and things like that. Or at least they did when I looked a couple years ago. So, all right. So, like I said, there are links in here, and so I'll share my document with everyone afterwards. So, like the gear rentals is a link to what I call our gear garage, and it's a website that I created through Google Sites, and basically students can go to this site and request to check out equipment. I mean, we've got everything from tents, sleeping bags, snowshoes, to like lawn games, general rec equipment, balls, and things like that. So you may want to check that out. Off-campus trips. So off-campus trips lend themselves to, you don't necessarily need to know all the technical stuff if you're not going to lead them. So, if you're going to be leading a 3-night camping trip or backpacking trip, or a group hiking up a 46er, things like that, you'll want to have some experience. But you can do a lot of off-campus trips that are, through other companies. So a lot of the whitewater rafting that we do, and I actually moved on to the next slide. So if those of you need to click through, go ahead and click the next slide. But Adirondack River Outfitters, they'll run whitewater rafting trips. And I have in a couple slides too, I share some different companies, but there's a company out there that will lead an ice climbing trip. So up in the Adirondacks, and take your students to climb some frozen waterfalls. They also There's groups that lead rock climbing. So you can do that. Those are like some extreme outdoor trips. Whitewater rafting for us is always a highly attended event, and it's generally one that I do within the first few weeks of the start of the school year. Students are excited to be back, especially first year students, and when you'll get a good turnout for that. And here in at Keuka in the Finger Lakes, generally we'll go up to the Black River in Watertown and run ours out of there. But depending on where you're at, there's just do a search of whitewater rafting. We've also rafted Letchworth State Park, which is minimal kind of rapids. They're class 1 and class 2 rapids, but a lot of fun. The group that does it out of the state park there is a good group, and so the Black River through ARO is class 2 and class 3. But you can get higher intensity rapids if you want. We've done easy things, like I say easy, but just basically you need transportation. But to go indoor rock climbing, we've taken groups laser tag as part of our adventure program. Aerial adventure courses, again, those are kind of easy things, skiing and snowboarding. So there's a lot that you can do, and you don't necessarily need to have the technical expertise. You can offer it up to students, and maybe you provide transportation and cover half of the ticket. Maybe you cover the whole thing depending on how much it costs. Some cooler trips that we've done. We've hiked some Adirondacks 46ers. We did a hike last November in like mid-November up there in a camp out. We had about a foot of snow. Camped out in a foot of snow. That was pretty cool. Over our fall break, I've taken groups to Acadia National Park. We've hiked Mount Katahdin in Baxter State Park. So those kinds of trips, those are bigger scale. More planning goes into that. I can provide some resources on that if you'd like to, but you can let me know down the line. Niagara Jet was one that we did last year, which was pretty cool. It was like a huge jet boat, and it took you through the rapids of Niagara Falls. That was a lot of fun. Wolf Mountain Nature Center out Cortland's Way. I took a group there camping. We're the Keuka College Wolves, and so it was kind of cool to go to the Nature Center and see all kinds of wolves and coyote. And then we went to Tinker Falls, which was that first picture, and which is out that way too in Labrador Hollow. And did a camp out there. All right, so I'm on slide 8 now, and these are just a couple. I just figured I'd throw in there a couple resources for some rock climbing, and then I mentioned an ice climbing trip. So Ed Palick, the Rock and River Guiding, they do a guided ice climbing trip, and so if anyone's interested in offering that for your students up in the Adirondacks. So that's kind of a brief rundown of what activities you might run for students through your outdoor program, general rec activities. But as I mentioned earlier, we touch on so many areas of campus, not just activities and programming, but student development. And so I'm going to go to. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I added this like 5 minutes before our presentation. So non-traditional. So things you can do now to try and engage students if you are like remote like us. I've been using Instagram a lot, and this example here is just like I created a quiz. This is a national parks quiz, and so some of the pictures are from trips I took. Some of the pictures are from trips the school took. But if you have an active social media account, feel free to try and do these quick engagement kind of things, quizzes, polls, picture contests. But I'm gonna get a move on. So the student development piece, we do programming for RAs, student mentors, we started a living learning community on campus. So learning community or shared interest communities. And those are really good things that admissions can eat up to have programs to offer students, the shared interest. I've got the next slide 11 will be like an example of our LLC kind of requirements. So you can see that. But, you know, RAs, oh my gosh, my slides keep goofing around. Student mentors and RAs, you know, we provide programming for through our challenge course and our ropes course. Jeez. Sorry, my thing keeps going wonky. But easy, you know, at the start of the year, RAs always have training, student mentors always have training, and we're as in our adventure program, we're pretty much always penciled in to do team building and leadership training with them. So the next several slides to my presentation here, and what I'm going to talk about is adventure outdoor education with like a team building and experiential learning focus. Freshman orientation and pre-orientation adventure are two other components to leadership develop or student development. I'm sure a lot of programs do like a pre-orientation. Ours, as much as I'd like to have an extensive like 3 nights off campus orientation program, it doesn't really fit our student clientele. And so we host a 1 night overnight program on campus before 2 of the new student orientations over the summer. And 20 to 30 students generally sign up, and we do ropes course activities, kayaking, waterfront stuff. We play games. I do leadership activities, team building activities, and then we camp out. We usually like cook over the campfire and hang out for the night, and then in the morning I drop them off to their actual new student orientation. And it's cool. We've seen a lot of positives from these kinds of activities. Really, the biggest thing is students start getting to know each other and forming groups before they're actually here on campus. And when it comes to retention, students who already have a group, they already have friends, you know, they're more inclined to stick around. And then freshman welcome event. So our welcome week, we've got like 4 days of programming, and we always run lots of adventure, whether it's ropes course stuff, just general activities. You can see the one picture here on slide 12. There's the picture of the archery tag. So we use that to knock our soccer balls. So moving into coursework and academics. This is a big thing for my outdoor education program or adventure program at Keuka. We call it our Teamworks program, and what I do or what we do is really create experiential programming programs for different classes. I do a lot with occupational therapy, a lot with social work, a lot with education, and then some business management classes I'll get into as well. But basically, especially for OT and social work, the professors I work with provide me with different chapters in their books. I'll usually borrow a book and certain things that they'd like their class to have experiential learning around, and I create activities with certain outcomes, certain goals, and you use their class time to facilitate these activities. It's really powerful. A lot of schools, but at Keuka, our main focus is experiential learning and really getting to your hands on like some of the coursework, and after they've talked about it in class, doing these activities helps to like actually illustrate them. So I've got a lot, and I would say this is like 40% of my work at Keuka, or had been at least. I do a lot of course development and like leadership work out of it. But this is something that I think is not unique to me, that a lot of outdoor our adventure programs do for college campuses. They do leadership, they do team building. I'm not sure how many actually do coursework, but I imagine some of you, if not all of you, do this to some extent. And my hope is to share a good amount of resources and even just activities that you can run. Now, I had planned to run a lot of these with our group, when I figured we could do it in person, but I'll provide as much like descriptions and images as I can. And sometimes you just got to like try things and run them, and then you learn from that, and then next time you run it, you run a little bit better. I'm constantly doing that and trying new things out for myself. But Minefield, and some of these I'm not going to like go through. I'll leave it here and let you go back and read. But Minefield is a great communication activity, and a lot of times not a lot of times, every time I'll build these programs around with certain outcomes in mind. So whether it's coursework or roles, group roles and leadership, communication, and then I guess plan activities around those. Sorry. So Minefield is just one example. So this is a course, like a program breakdown of. I'm on slide 15 now. I'm not sure if it's changing with you all or if you still have to change it on your own. But so again, you kind of see like I like to start programs off with check-ins, get to know yous, things to get people moving, and then get into some actual activities. And so this is for the occupational therapy. I teach their mental health class, and for that class, I run 5 different sessions. This example here is the first session I run, and it's on group roles and leadership. And so basically, from their textbook, there's subsequent pages to this, and I'll point you to it later. But there's different roles, and basically they have to choose a role, and then they act it out while they're performing these different activities. I'm not sure how well you can see this, but again, you can go back and read through some of these programs. And really, feel free to email me if you got questions or you'd like to talk more about some of these or learn more about how to facilitate like team building activities. I'm running out of time. I know I got kind of long-winded on some things, but so kind of same thing with athletics. I do a lot of team building, and I have another program example for a program I ran for a men's basketball team, but generally every year I'll do team building for men's basketball, men's and women's volleyball, track teams, and a bunch of the other athletic teams will come. And yep, we use the ropes course for some of that. And I realize not everyone has a ropes course, but we also just do a lot of like just activities, things that one get them laughing together. And then some more like challenges where the picture on the right you can see with the checkerboard, that's an activity where there's 2 teams and there's a certain maze, certain pattern they have to get through on the floor. And it's communication, teamwork kind of activity. Let's see here. This last page, slide 18, is full of different resources. So the lots of good activities, and these all take you to the Google Drive that I created, except for the websites. But the lots of good activities is like 5 or 6 pages of good descriptions and pictures of activities that you can run. Same thing. The sample programs are programs that I ran. Zoom that's not Zoom like virtual conference Zoom. It's Zoom as in there's Zoom and Resume. It's another like activity, but that's a thing that can be used for many different groups. It's like another communication piece or a leadership activity. This virtual activities is a website, and it has like a bunch of different activities you can run with virtual groups. High Five Adventure. So Amelia, how do we get these? I will share this with everyone. It's just a PDF, And in that PDF, you can click and it'll link to all these different resources. So I'm not sure how I'm going to share it with everyone, but I think we should be able to get it out. I'll also put my email in the chat here right now, and so feel free to email me and I can send you things directly, or if anyone's interested in having like an offline conversation about anything, I can go into more depth, or just chit chat about stuff. But I'd really like for the next 4 minutes that we've got to answer a couple questions. If anyone's got any questions, I've got there's a couple more slides. This 2 horses, 2 riders is a puzzle that I was just throwing out there, but I will say the free campsites is anytime I plan a trip, whether it's for myself or with a group, the first place I look for a camping area is this website, free campsites, freecampsites.com. I have found some of the coolest campsites through that, and the majority of them are free. A lot of them are like DEC operated, National Forest operated, but one in particular was just north of Acadia National Park, and it was right on the coast. It was really cool. So check that out. It's a really good resource. Any questions from anyone? Right. Now, whoops. I'm just trying to see if I can dump this PDF into our chat. Well, let's see. If anyone wants me to email it to them, I can. Actually, what I'll do here really quick, I'm going to upload this to the Google Drive folder I have, and then I will just share that with everyone. That would probably be a good way. Hopefully it doesn't take 20 minutes to upload. Hang tight. All right. Okay, so I just in the chat just dropped the link to the Google Drive, and that should have, should be public. You shouldn't have to ask for permission. I think I did that properly. But then there's a couple folders, and then there's the presentations in here, and a couple other additional resources. So, feel free to click through any of those things, and then shoot me a message if anything's unclear, or you want to run a program and you got questions. I'm totally open. Send me an email anytime. Happy to chat some more. But thanks everyone for being here and for sticking around. Yeah, Amelia, I'm ready to get back in the outdoor rec too. Awesome, cool. Well, take care. Thanks everyone for being here.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
Good presentation. We really
Thank you.
enjoyed
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Hannah. Good luck with the rest of the conference.
Thank you very much.